You're alone, again, staring at problems that seem bigger than you. Everyone around you appears to have found the magic formula, while you can barely take the next step. They smile on social media, share their achievements, celebrate their victories, and you're here, trying to understand why life insists on knocking you down every time you try to get up. But I have a revelation that will change everything. Psalm 91 isn't just a religious text. It's a psychological warfare manual written millennia ago, which Napoleon Hill discovered and transformed into the foundation of his entire philosophy about success and mental resilience. Hill, the man who studied the greatest billionaires in American history, found in this psalm the secret that separates the victorious from the eternal losers. There's an invisible division happening right now. On one side are those who know this ancient truth, who understand the hidden power behind the words, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." On the other side is the masses, the crowd that lives at the mercy of circumstances, that gets shaken by any contrary wind, that gives up at the first sign of difficulty. Napoleon Hill realized something that few can see. When he analyzed the mentality of Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and all the giants he met, he discovered they weren't simply talented or lucky. They possessed an unshakable mental fortress, an unbreakable faith in their own ability to overcome any adversity. And the source of this fortress? The same truths encoded in Psalm 91. Look around you. How many people do you know who panic at the first sign of crisis? How many crumble when someone criticizes them? How many abandon their dreams at the first roadblock? These are the people living on the wrong side of the division. They're slaves to circumstances, prisoners of their own weak minds, but you don't have to be one of them. Psalm 91 reveals that there's a secret place, a mental refuge, where external storms can't reach you. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. This isn't just poetry. It's a declaration of war against mediocrity. Let me tell you about an entrepreneur I knew. 10 years ago, he lost everything in an economic crisis. House, business, relationships, reputation. He was completely devastated. People around him started whispering that he'd never recover, that his time had passed. Criticism came from all sides. Former partners avoided him. Family questioned his decisions. But he knew the secret of Psalm 91. Instead of letting himself be shaken by external voices, he found that secret place the psalm speaks of. Every morning he repeated to himself, "You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day." Every criticism he received, every door that closed, every no he heard, he interpreted differently. Hill taught that our subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. When you position yourself mentally in that place of divine protection that Psalm 91 describes, your mind begins to work completely differently. You stop reacting to circumstances and start shaping them. That entrepreneur understood this. While other men his age were retiring or settling for lesser jobs, he was rebuilding. Every morning, before leaving home, he declared, "Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked." He knew that all who were celebrating his downfall would witness his resurrection, and that's exactly what happened. Within 5 years, he not only recovered everything he had lost, but multiplied it by 10. The same people who criticized him were now asking for advice. Those who avoided him now competed for his attention. Why? Because he had discovered what Napoleon Hill called self-suggested faith based on eternal principles. But here's the part most people don't understand. The suffering you're going through now isn't an accident. It's a graduation. Psalm 91 doesn't promise absence of problems. It promises protection during problems. "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." Think about it. The valley of the shadow of death isn't avoided. It's walked through. The difference lies in the mental attitude with which you traverse it. While the masses tremble with fear, you walk with authority. While they despair, you remain unshakable. Napoleon Hill discovered that all the successful men he studied went through periods of intense adversity. The difference was in how they interpreted these adversities. For them, every obstacle was an opportunity to strengthen their mental muscles. Every criticism was confirmation that they were bothering the right people. Every failure was an investment in wisdom. Psalm 91 reveals something even deeper. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. This seems impossible, doesn't it? How can it be that no evil reaches us if we live in a world full of problems? The answer lies in the word evil. Evil in this context doesn't refer to external problems. It refers to the internal damage these problems could cause. You can lose money without becoming mentally poor. You can be criticized without becoming insecure. You can face opposition without becoming weak. True evil isn't what happens to you, it's what you allow to happen inside you. Hill understood this perfectly. In his book, Think and Grow Rich, he tells the story of a man who lost both legs in an accident. While others would become depressed and consider themselves victims of fate, this man used adversity as fuel to develop extraordinary mental strength. He became one of the most influential motivational speakers of his era. How was this possible? He applied the principle of Psalm 91 without even knowing it. He positioned himself mentally in that secret place where external circumstances have no power over his internal state. He understood that he shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. These feathers aren't literal. They're thoughts of protection, affirmations of strength, declarations of unshakable faith. Every time a doubt tried to penetrate his mind, he covered it with a feather of certainty. Every time fear knocked at the door, he took refuge under the wings of absolute conviction that he would be able to overcome anything. But there's something even more powerful hidden in Psalm 91. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you. The key word here is dwelling place. It's not hope. It's not desire. It's absolute confidence. Napoleon Hill called this burning faith. It's a certainty so deep it becomes indestructible. When you develop this level of confidence, something extraordinary happens. You stop asking the world for permission to be successful. You stop waiting for circumstances to be perfect. You simply declare your victory and act accordingly. Imagine two men facing the same financial crisis. The first spends sleepless nights, worried, calculating ways to avoid bankruptcy. He asks everyone for advice, begs for help, humiliates himself before creditors. His energy is totally focused on the problem. The second man, knowing the secret of Psalm 91, acts completely differently. He acknowledges the crisis, but doesn't allow it to dominate his mind. Every morning he declares, "For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways." He knows that somehow the solution will come. And because of this unshakable confidence, his mind remains creative, alert to opportunities, magnetic to answers. Guess which one finds the way out faster? The second man attracts solutions because his mind isn't contaminated by panic. Hill discovered that when our mind is in a state of total confidence, it becomes a magnet for positive circumstances. But society doesn't want you to know this. It profits from your fear, your insecurity, your dependence. While you're desperate, you consume more, buy more, go into more debt, work more for less. Your mental weakness is the fuel of the system. That's why people around you will try to convince you that this kind of faith is naivety. They'll say you need to be realistic, that you can't trust that much, that you need to prepare for the worst. These people don't know they're serving as instruments of the very system that enslaves them. Psalm 91 continues, "In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone." This doesn't mean you'll never find stones in the path. It means when you do find them, you won't stumble on them. You'll use them as stepping stones. Napoleon Hill observed that all great leaders had this characteristic in common. They transformed obstacles into opportunities with disconcerting ease. Not because they were smarter or more talented, But because they had developed this unshakable mentality, described in Psalm 91, Henry Ford was ridiculed when he said he would build a car that anyone could afford. The experts of the time said it was impossible, but Ford had found that secret place of absolute confidence. He knew that you shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. The lion represents obvious obstacles, difficulties everyone can see. The cobra represents hidden dangers, betrayals, sabotage. Ford faced both. Competitors tried to destroy him. Bankers refused to finance him. The press ridiculed him. But he remained unshakable. Why? Because he understood the final principle of Psalm 91. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high because he has known my name. The high place isn't a physical location. It's an elevated mental state where you observe problems from a superior perspective. When you're in this high place, you see patterns others can't perceive. You anticipate movements that surprise the competition. You make decisions that seem risky to others, but are obvious to you. Hill called this the sixth sense. A sharpened intuition that develops when you're in perfect tune with universal principles. It's not something mystical or supernatural. It's simply the result of a mind free from the noise of fear and doubt. But let me be clear about something. This journey isn't easy. Psalm 91 isn't a magic formula that eliminates all your problems instantly. It's a mental training manual that requires discipline, consistency, and courage. You'll have days when you'll doubt. Days when criticisms will seem louder than your convictions. Days when you'll question whether it's really worth continuing to fight. And you know what that means. It means you're on the right path. Doubt isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. Every moment of weakness is an opportunity to strengthen your mental muscles. Every criticism you receive is confirmation that you're bothering the right people. Every obstacle that arises is the universe testing your determination. Napoleon Hill went through periods of intense doubt. There were moments when he questioned whether his principles really worked. But every time doubt appeared, he returned to the fundamentals. He remembered the stories of the men he had studied. He revisited the eternal principles he had discovered, and you need to do the same. When the storm is strongest, when everyone around you is panicking, when it seems there's no way out, you need to return to Psalm 91. You need to remember that 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. This isn't just a promise. It's a declaration of war against mediocrity. It's your battle flag against everything that tries to keep you small. But here's the most important part. This knowledge can't just stay in your head. It needs to become part of your DNA. You need to live these principles every day, in every decision, in every reaction, in every thought. When someone criticizes you, instead of defending yourself, you remember, you shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day. When a financial crisis arises, instead of panicking, you declare, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. When you feel loneliness or abandonment, instead of victimizing yourself, you affirm, for he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. Each repetition of these truths strengthens your subconscious mind. Each declaration of faith reprograms your mental patterns. Each act of absolute confidence brings you closer to that secret place where you become truly unshakable. And when you get there, something extraordinary will happen. People around you will start to notice a difference. They'll perceive that you don't get shaken like before. They'll observe that you don't react to provocations. They'll see that you remain calm in situations that would leave others desperate. Some will admire this transformation. Others will try to understand your secret. But there will also be those who will feel uncomfortable. Your peace will irritate their restlessness. Your confidence will expose their insecurity. Your determination will highlight their weakness, and when that happens, you'll know you're on the right path. People only attack what bothers them. They only criticize what they wish they had. Your transformation will be a mirror that shows them everything they could be, but chose not to be. Napoleon Hill faced this too. When he began divulging his principles, many called him a dreamer, naive, a seller of illusions. But he remained firm. He knew he was carrying a truth that could transform millions of lives, and it did. Today, almost a century later, his books still sell millions of copies. His principles still form the basis of practically every personal development program that exists. Why? Because he had discovered eternal truths, principles that work regardless of era or circumstances. Psalm 91 is one of those eternal principles. It doesn't matter if you're religious or not. It doesn't matter what your specific belief is. The psychological principles behind this psalm work for anyone willing to apply them. When you declare, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty," you're programming your subconscious mind to seek that state of inner peace. When you affirm, "You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day," you're building a mental fortress against the fears that paralyze other people. Every verse of Psalm 91 is a powerful affirmation disguised as prayer. Every declaration is an instruction to your subconscious mind. Every repetition strengthens your confidence and diminishes the power that external circumstances have over you. But you need to understand something fundamental. This doesn't work if you treat it like a lucky charm. It doesn't work if you recite it mechanically, expecting instant miracles. It works when you understand the principle behind the words and live according to that. Understanding you need to become the person who deserves the promises of Psalm 91. You need to develop the courage that justifies protection. You need to cultivate the faith that attracts blessings. You need to build the character that sustains success, and that takes time. Hill took 20 years to write Think and Grow Rich, 20 years studying, testing, refining his principles. He wasn't in a hurry because he knew he was building something eternal. You also need to have this long-term perspective. Real transformations don't happen overnight. They're the result of small daily decisions, accumulated small victories, consistent small advances. Every day you choose faith instead of fear, you become a little stronger. Every day you choose confidence instead of doubt, you get a little closer to that secret place. Every day you choose to advance instead of retreat, you become a little more unshakable. And one day, you'll look back and realize how much you've evolved. You'll remember the problems that seemed impossible to solve and are now just distant memories. You'll recall the fears that seemed gigantic and now seem ridiculous. You'll remember the people who doubted you and now ask for advice. But the journey doesn't end there. When you reach this level of mental strength, you become a source of inspiration for others. Your life becomes a living testimony that it's possible to be unshakable in a world of uncertainties, and that's your responsibility. When you discover the power of Psalm 91, when you experience the peace that comes from living these principles, you can't keep it just to yourself. You need to share, you need to teach, you need to serve as an example. Napoleon Hill understood this. That's why he dedicated his life to teaching these principles. That's why he wrote books, gave lectures, trained disciples. He knew he had found something too precious to be kept. You're closer than you imagine. Closer to discovering your own strength. Closer to developing your own unshakable confidence. Closer to becoming the person you always knew you could be. Psalm 91 isn't just an ancient text. It's your instruction manual for life. It's your guide for navigating through storms. It's your declaration of independence from all forces that try to keep you small, but it only works if you apply it. It only transforms if you live it. It only protects if you trust it. The choice is yours. You can continue living at the mercy of circumstances, reacting to problems, being shaken by every contrary wind. Or you can choose to position yourself in that secret place where thousands may fall at your side, but you remain standing. You can continue being just another in the crowd of complainers, quitters, conformists. Or you can choose to join the invisible minority of those who know, who apply, who win. Psalm 91 has already revealed the secret. Napoleon Hill has already shown the way. Now only one thing remains, your decision. I choose to be unshakable. I choose to dwell in the secret place of the Most High. I choose not to fear the terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day. I choose to walk on lions and cobras. I choose to position myself in the high place where thousands may fall at my side, but I will not be struck. This isn't just an affirmation. It's a declaration of war against everything that tries to limit me. It's my battle flag against mediocrity. It's my commitment to the strongest version of myself. And you? What's your choice?